What's up guys, Kyle here again, and today we're going to take a look at the Mendel IR pack from Drums and Tones. Let's do it! Hope everyone's doing great out there. Today we're going to take a look at a little IR pack from a company called Drums and Tones. Truthfully, I had not heard of Drums and Tones prior to them reaching out to me. As you guys know, I'm pretty new in the plugin and impulse response world, so I'm not super familiar with a lot of the companies out there. But Drums and Tones just kind of out of the blue sent me an email, and they sent me the pack and asked if I would be interested in checking it out. They did not expect anything in return. They just genuinely said, hey, we like your channel. We want to send you these. Let us know what you think. No obligation to make a video or give us any positive reviews or anything like that. So I thought that was really cool. I downloaded them that same night and popped them on one of my plugins, and honestly, it made a massive difference for me. I'm not just saying that to be nice. One of the reasons that I did steer away from digital amp sims and plugins and things like that for a long time is I always felt that the impulse responses were lacking. They never really felt or sounded like the real thing. When I first got my 2 Notes captor, I was really excited about it, but no offense to 2 Notes, I just didn't really find the impulse responses in the wall of sound software that I got super realistic or super useful. I spent too much time messing around with the controls inside the software and just trying to tweak an IR so I could really make it fit my ear, and I could never quite get it there. So anyways, that kind of disparaged me from really looking too deeply into the plugins, into recording my amps through my load box and everything. It was a nice feature to have, but I didn't really use it that much. Fast forward to now, where I'm diving back into this stuff a little bit more. I downloaded these IRs, and like I said, I threw it on a plugin, and immediately I was impressed. Immediately with the very first IR that I queued up, I was like, wow, okay, that sounds much more like a real cab. That sounds much more like a tone that I personally would desire if I was trying to dial in tones into a mix. So again, thank you to WD at Drums and Tones for sending these out to me. I've had them for quite a while. I've been messing around with them for quite a while, and I figured, you know what, it's time to finally make a video. We'll go through some of these IRs, and I'm just gonna jam through them on a plugin. I'm not gonna stick them on a mixed track because, to be completely honest with you guys, that is not my area of expertise. I don't know enough to give tips on mixing. I don't know enough about putting guitars in a mix to really give you guys quality information. I'm just being 100% honest. I have a lot to learn in that respect. So what I'm gonna do is just jam through them and tell you what I'm hearing through my monitors and how I really think that these cabs probably would sit in a mix based on my experiences. And hopefully that is valuable information to you guys. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay guys, so I have the ML Sound Labs Roots plugin open, and we have the Fluff 5151 queued up. I spent a couple seconds just kind of dialing in everything right here, and I have STL Tones Nadir loaded up as my cab loader, and over here we have our Mendel IR pack. So we've got everything pulled 100% to the left-hand side, so all that you're hearing is the Mendel IR pack. And we're gonna go through those one by one real quick and just kind of get a lay of the land and see how everything sounds. So this is everything dialed in with cab 1. Okay, so that is the very first cab that you open up when you get in here. Now what Drums and Tones did with this IR pack is, instead of giving you the cab, the speaker, the mic combinations that was used to capture the impulse response that you're currently on, they just labeled them cabs 1 through 23. There are 23 options in here, which compared to some IR packs isn't a lot. But in my opinion, that is a massive bonus, because if you're like me, you'll get into a big cab IR pack that has 10 different impulses for each speaker with different miking combinations and different mic settings and everything else. And you'll just spend so much time trying to dial in that one speaker that it's maddening, like going through 10 different ones and kind of like tweaking your plugin or whatever you're playing through to kind of match that IR to get the best tone. And you do that for 6, 7 speakers, and all of a sudden an hour's gone by and you still don't have a tone that you love, and you end up forgetting which ones that you liked because you're not organized and you didn't write them down. That's just me. That's what happens to me, to be honest. So anyways, I like the simplicity. Number one, you have no biases going in because none of these cabs are labeled, so you don't know what speakers you're going through on any of these. You just have to kind of plug in and play and find one that suits your ear or the tone that you're going for or even the particular amp that you're using. So it really simplifies the process of picking an IR, and I found ones that I kind of gravitated towards pretty easily, and I remember them because I remember what number they are. And number one is honestly the one that I tend to gravitate towards the most because it reminds me the most of like a V30 and a greenback combined, where it's got a lot of upper mids and it's a little smoother on top, and there's no digital harshness on the top of it. It just sounds natural and MIDI and really good for thrash stuff, which is what I kind of generally tend to gravitate towards. So anyways, yeah, that's cab number one. For some reason, when I bring it up on here, it tends to shuffle them a little bit. So we're gonna go down to cab two now. So that IR is a little bit more balanced. It sounds a little bit more like maybe a V30 and a T75 mixed. It almost has like a K100 vibe to it as well. K100s are a little bit neutral sounding, so it could just be a K100 type IR, I'm not really sure. All right, so that one is actually pretty balanced and even sounding. With a couple tweaks on the amp, we could get it to sound really good. All right, so I'm digging that one so far. Cab number three. All right, so that one sounds a little bit thicker. It's a little bit more congested in the mids, not quite as upper mid presence-y as number one and two are. Let's go to four. All right, that one kind of has like a scoopy mid thing going on. It's very, Eminence has a kind of particular voicing to some of their speakers that reminds me a lot of an Eminence. All right, that's another nice balanced one. It almost reminds me of like an M65 Creamback. It's a little bit light on the highs and just kind of big round mids. Ooh, I like that one. Combine that one with something a little bit brighter and a little bit more upper mid presence, and I bet you that'd be a huge tone. Number seven. Same with number seven, but number seven seems to have an even bigger low end response. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so that sounds great. Number eight. Ooh, that one sounds massive as well. It's like the low end increases with every single cab that we go on. Pairing one of these big fat cabs would sound really good with something a little bit brighter. None of them have that overly digital synthesized type feel that a lot of the Two Notes ones did from the Wall of Sound software though, so that's a positive right off the bat. Cab 10. Awesome. Every one of these sounds good in their own way. That one has a big upper mid presence spike. Ah, that one's nice. All right, so now it kind of seems like we're going the other way. We're going back into like more upper mid territory. That sounds great. Cap 13. Another kind of like neutral sounding, a little bit of a mid bump with the highs rolled off. That one sounds good. That one's really bright. All right, I'm getting carried away on some of these. That one's really fun. I'm gonna try and pair 14 and 13 in a minute and see how those sound together. 15's kind of back to being very neutral, a little bit muffled on the top end. All right, the delay from the audio is throwing me off a little bit. 16. Ooh, that sounds huge. There's so much like sub-low bass in that. What if I rename these? I'm gonna call that Chug Monster. That's got a lot of low end push to it. 17. Nice and balanced. The mids are back, a little bit more highs. Oh, yeah. This is fun. I like guitars. Do you guys like guitars? I really like guitars. Here's 18. Another massive sounding IR, a little bit muffled on top. Woo, number 19 is honky. Every time I plug into a new IR, I'm like, oh, I want to combine this with this. I want to combine this with this. 20, big and kind of woolly sounding. '21, completely opposite. Very thin, very mid-heavy. But every one sounds good. Everyone has their good qualities. All right, so 22 is a little bit more balanced. And finally, 23. That's a nice balanced one right there. All right, while I have a minute, let's combine 19. And let me open up over here. Let me go back into my documents. Pull up that cab bundle. All right, so now we have it on both sides. Let's put 15 on. And we'll put the balance right in the middle. So yeah, exactly as I thought. Some of these are going to complement each other so well. Let's go to 1, because that's my favorite, and then I think 9 was nice and fat sounding. So yeah, you combine a fatter one with one of the thinner ones, and you've got 2 different speaker impulses working for you, filling out each frequency. So, this is I really dig this cab IR pack, guys. This one really made me, when they sent it to me, want to dig into the plug-in thing more, because I was like, finally I can get sounds I like out of my monitors. Alright, so that sounds cool. Let's get a little bit more gain on this thing real quick, because it's feeling kind of dry. Alright guys, I could sit here and play with these cab combinations all day because they sound awesome, and I'm sure I could find a million that complement each other. I'm almost being hypocritical on the fact where I said that you know, it's simplified, but me naturally as a tone tweaker, I'm gonna try to find ways to overly complicate it for myself. But anyways, yeah, this has been the Mendel IR pack from Drums and Tones. Thanks again to WD for sending this to me to check out. I really enjoyed playing through these cabinets. I'm gonna load these up on my Quad Cortex and maybe make some profiles with them for you guys of my own amps, and you guys can kind of get a feel of some of them as well. So I'm definitely gonna be using these on my Quad Cortex moving forward in the future for anything that requires an IR, because these are fantastic. So again, Drums and Tones Mendel IR pack, they have a free sample pack on their website. If you go to Drums and Tones website, I'll put the link down below in the description for you guys to check it out. They give you a free sample pack of some of their IRs for you guys to check them out and see if you like them. And I believe that this IR pack is only $19.99. So go to their website, check it out. I'm saying right now, I think it's very much worth the price of entry. This is a great set of IRs. Really enjoyed them. So if this is your guys' first time here at my channel, if you liked the video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button. Consider subscribing on the way out so you don't miss any more awesome videos regarding impulse responses, plugins, and lots of amps. I like amps. Anyways, Kyle here again. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. We'll see you next time.